Staying Financially Healthy, financial advice for Muslim millennials. It's really geared towards people, really millennials, but really anybody in college and young professionals. Today we have Brother Tahir Jiwan here. He is a longtime professional in the financial services industry. He's also the CEO and founder of Bhakti Financial Group, that's a financial services organization. And he's going to go ahead and talk about things that he's done. He's been a financial coach for years, so this really is what he does for a living. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to him. Give it a round of applause for.
I don't know if you want to clap now. Maybe if I earn it by the end, I can get a clap. But well, salam alaikum. So I can't tell you how grateful I am to be speaking in front of this group. First of all, just attending today. And I always believe that before we kind of go into the what, we got to figure out, the why, right? So the what is, we're going to get there. But, why? So I asked myself today, why am I here? But then when I go into the why, I have to kind of go into the how. I have to go into who, and then I have to go into when. So I think it's important that you know a little bit about me and where I came from. And it might be a little bit different than where you came from. I converted to Islam 6 years ago. And some of you might know the Aga Khani community, the Ismaili community. So I was born into that, okay? So very different, but in some things can be similar. So I think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always has a plan. As a matter of fact, I don't think He has a plan, I know He has a plan. So I picked up a lot of great things from being born into a community that focused a lot on entrepreneurship. Okay, for whatever the reasons, I don't want to get into that, but they focus a lot on entrepreneurship. And today, having the opportunity to speak in front of you, I've been thinking about why. Because prior to 2 years ago, I was not involved at all in the Muslim community. I just wasn't. Professionally, I wasn't. Personally, I wasn't. It just wasn't my thing. And it wasn't my thing because I really didn't know where to start. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a way for me to get started. One introduction after another. One connection after another. 5 days ago, I get a WhatsApp message asking me to speak here. One connection after another. A year and a half ago, I had an opportunity to become the youth director for my masjid. One opportunity, one connection. So we're going to talk about finances. We're going to talk about all that stuff. But I think it's really important for us as people to understand that it's really about connections. It's really about understanding that where you're at today is, inshallah, preparing you for where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to be in the future. And I'm living proof of that. I never thought I'd have this beard. And I want to apologize in advance that my LinkedIn picture and even my bio picture does not represent who I have become. And the reason I apologize for that is because of the fact that I'm an executive coach. I own many .coms. Remember, I told you they focus a lot on entrepreneurship. People talk a lot about becoming the greatest version of yourself. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in becoming the greatest version of yourself. I think that's overly used because who I was sucked. So was I going to be the greatest version of suck? Who we need to become is through transformation. We want to transform ourselves to becoming the person we know we deserve to be. We know we deserve to be. We know we deserve to be financially healthy. We know we deserve to be spiritually healthy. We know we deserve to be something. But we're stuck in this self-help book of, let me tell you how you can become the greatest version of yourself. Inshallah, we will transform into the people that we know we deserve to be. I'm on my own journey. I'm not trying to fix anybody because I'm nowhere near done with me. But I want to share with you a playbook of the guy that I used to be, and alhamdulillah, the guy that I transformed to becoming, because I'm still not there yet. And what you see here is one company. I call it, from a secular world, my bread and butter business. But I own a lot of other companies. I'll show you another one in a minute because I think it's important from a financial aspect for you guys to understand. I love what was said this morning, how the real world works. So, Moxie Financial is out of Alpharetta, Georgia. If Haley could click to the section of team, I can kind of walk you through the method behind the madness. So that's our team. You can try to scroll down. We're Surface users, so we just got converted to Mac, so we apologize. But the vision of this organization was all based on diversity. Because when I moved to Atlanta, Georgia 4 years ago, the financial services scene did not look like that. The financial services industry looked like Caucasian, older males. Okay? But I owned a company in Chicago, where I'm born and raised, and my company looked like this. And I hired, sorry my brothers, women. Because again, the entrepreneurial brain of mine said, women make 70% of the financial household decisions. Yet every financial services organization has dominated by men. I didn't understand why people weren't doing it. But I'm not trying to change anybody, I'm still working on myself. So I figured when I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, let me create a firm that has a lot of diversity, that we're going to respect other people's faith. At our firm, we're very open about faith. The dominant faith at my firm is Christianity. Yet they see Tahir go to the mosque, get his janamaz out. But I have it easy. Because I have the privilege to have the ownership in the company. Right?
God makes it really easy.
You would think so. You would think that would make it easy. Imagine me recruiting in the South. You think it's easy? It's not. Whether it's a financial decision or it's a personal decision, you have to. There's a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It was written years ago. It still makes the New York Times bestseller. One of the habits are seek first to understand, then to be understood. So I had to understand Christianity. Well, I was in luck because I almost converted and was almost going to become a Christian. I had to understand Hinduism. Well, I grew up in Chicago on a street called Devon Avenue, so I understood Hinduism. And my best friend, since the 5th grade, who unfortunately passed away of a heart attack 2 years ago in Roswell, my best friend, Steve Kirschenbaum, was Jewish since the 5th grade. See, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was always preparing me to become a Muslim. Was always preparing me to understand how to build bridges and to work with different communities. Why not? My best friend was a Jewish person. I almost became Christian. I was born in Aga Khani. And then, God bless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through the help of Alia Rashid, my wife, she explained to me what it means to be a Muslim. And 6 years ago when we went on this journey, the financial piece, the everyday worship piece, it's a journey. I call myself, 6 years ago, the Ramadan Muslim. Now it's Ramadan. Let's drop everything. Now we got to get cleaned up. 2 years ago, my best friend passed away of a heart attack, who was 6 months older than me, who I talked to at 6:12 p.m., September 4th, Labor Day. He passed away. 20 minutes later, things changed. So whether it's my finances, my personal life. It's community service. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a partner in every business that I own. He's a partner in how I conduct myself. He's a partner in everything, and I give you permission, because I believe you all are way ahead of this thing, and you guys most of you were born into this faith. If you catch me doing something that is not correct, please tell me, because I just don't know. Like, I'll give you an example. I was praying at the masjid, and when I went down, I didn't realize that the way I was going down was almost like a dog. Instead of having it was almost like this. Alhamdulillah, the halaqah that I belong to, a brother came up to me and says, Tahir, I know you are really trying. Let me explain to you the way you're doing it is wrong. And I was so appreciative. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you, you're like, what does this have to do with millennial and finances? The reason I'm sharing this with you is the information is out there. You don't need a financial coach or an advisor. The information is out there. But why do people hire me and my firm? Time. I want to save time. Dr. Khan, Dr. Ali, business owner, whoever the person is, they're really good at being a doctor. They don't want to spend time learning about finances. So it's a trust thing. So it's a lot. It's an amount. So that's what I do. Try to do it every single day. It's not easy for many reasons, as we kind of understood. It's not easy. But our firm services, not just Muslims, we service everybody. But recently, I don't even know how it's happened, there's been an influx of Muslim clients. And that's interesting. I want to give you guys some takeaways today. And if you don't have a pen, please tell me, I'll get you a pen. But I want to give you 3 words, if you can write them down, for personal finances. This is my personal playbook. This is what me and my wife and my kids, we really, really just understood. And I'm going to share with you my personal journey. Does anybody need a pen? Anybody need a pen? I'll just, so you guys don't have to feel shy, I'll just put a bunch of pens in the hands, and if anybody needs one, they can just pass them. So I want to give you these 3 words, okay? The 3 words, how long do I have? 25 minutes? Okay. Just go like that when I have 10. Right, so 25 minutes off, right? When I have 10, just give me enough. So the 3 words I want to give you is, number 1 is income. Please write down income. Second word I want to give you, can you go to the Moxie presentation? Just the first page, this one, is save. The third word I want to give you is invest. Okay, so the first word is income, the second word is save, and the third word is invest. Now, I got to beat up my friends Charles Schwab, right? If you go to Charles Schwab, they have it in a different order. Not bad, not wrong, just a different order. Theirs is invest, save, and then, oh yeah, we'll talk about your income. Just different. Why? Because our firm is what's called a holistic financial planning firm. If you talk to my good friend, the New York life insurance agent, he or she is going to talk to you about what? Protect that income. Buy some insurance products. All right? Oh yeah, we'll save. Oh yeah, we'll invest. It's just different. Why I could beat up both of these firms? I was the senior partner of one of the largest insurance companies in the world, New York Life. 8 years I spent with them. And I was the firm's senior partner. I ran the Downers Grove, Illinois branch. They have 120 offices. The number 9 branch in the country was Downers Grove, Illinois. I was the senior partner of the firm. So I can beat them up a little bit. Charles Schwab for years has been trying to get me to come over there, and we just believe in different things. But the 3 words I gave you, if you never hire a financial coach, if you never go in and go have somebody help you with your money. But if you just understand these 3 words and what I'm going to tell you next, you'll be in really good shape. And your employer is going to help with this. So let's talk about income. You have to protect your income. It's the number one thing. You have to protect it. Now, how do you protect it? Or let's look at the opposite. Can you tell me, let's make this interactive, some of the ways where your income would permanently stop? Give me one of the ways that your income would permanently stop.
Death, disability.
Death and disability, that's 2.
Retirement.
That's a positive one. So I should have said 3 negatives. So death could be considered a negative, right? From a faith-based perspective, we don't consider death as a negative. But can you see from a secular world why death might be, right? From a secular world. So death, same with disability. What's the 3rd negative that could happen in your lifetime? Yeah.
Fired.
You get fired, you lose your job.
Layoff.
Wow, this group is smart. Yeah, you could end up in jail, right? So you could do something. Zubair immediately said, that wasn't me. The RCM was not on that statement. Protect the RCM brand. Don't worry, I'm all about branding too, so I get it. You see it? Because RCM did not say that. I love it. My son goes to RCM, so that's right, RCM did not say that. So, these 3 things, death is inevitable, right? Sorry, Haley, I know you don't want to talk about it, but death is inevitable. Becoming disabled, it's a big one. My father died of cancer at the young age of 48. He was disabled by the time he was 37. He was never fired. He didn't go to jail. He wasn't laid off. And 2 out of those 3 did happen to my household growing up. You see how important it is to make sure your income is protected. So now, as this millennials, as this wonderful group in front of me enters the workforce, some of you are already in the workforce. What role is your employer going to play in protecting your income? Anybody? We're going to get there, but just you're protecting your income from these 3 things.
Group life insurance.
They've got group life insurance.
Long-term disability.
They've got long-term and short-term disability. Depending on your preference and faith, you might opt in or opt out. Fair? But what about the 3rd one? What about the loss of the job?
Severance.
Severance. What if there was no severance? It's a problem. Some companies don't pay a severance. I'd like you to write this down. I want you to write down emergency fund. Emergency fund. See, they don't want to talk about this at Charles Schwab. They don't want to talk about this at New York Life. They need you to buy the policy. They need you at Charles Schwab to say, can you please fill out this investor profile so we can take that $100,000 and invest it and charge you 2 points or 1.5 points. What if I lose my job? Oh, well then I guess we're going to have to liquidate that probably when the market is not good. Again, depending on your preference, if you even want to get into the market. But I want to help you today become bulletproof. So I'm going to help you become bulletproof. Whatever your personal home expenses are, whatever your personal family, right? Some of you are like, well, I'm not even married yet. Well, you will be. Inshallah, that's your choice if Allah wants that for you. You're going to have expenses. Every month you're going to have this thing. In the financial world, please write this down. It's called a burn rate. Burn rate. You're going to have this burn rate, what you're spending every single month. It's all your bills. Your rent, your halal mortgage. I just got a card about that upstairs. But all these things, you're going to have this cell phone bill. You have all this. This is called your burn rate. What are you burning through? 6 months. you should have 6 months reserves. 6 months. That gives you enough time to sharpen up that resume, sharpen up those interviewing skills, and get back in the game and get a new job. I sold a company in 2015. And I knew that the company was, I had built the company from scratch, and I knew that I was going to sell the company in December of 2014. So my wife and I are in Chicago. Our attorneys are finalizing the sale of the company, the .com, and we're kind of just liquidating everything and wrapping up because we're going to move to Atlanta. Or at that time we weren't sure where we were going to move. We were thinking LA, Houston, and Atlanta was last on the list. From December till the following, from December of 2014 till January of 2016, now I didn't get laid off, I didn't get fired, I sold a business. And we decided to figure out where we were going to live. So what do? We said, let's go travel. Let's go check out LA. Burn rate went up that month. And she's like, yeah, you've been to LA. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Okay, good. Good. So we found out real quick that LA is not going to be our scene. We went to Houston. We were like, oh, this is good. We own real estate in Houston, so we're like, yeah, it's a good place for us. But then we came to Atlanta. And I had been traveling to Atlanta for business reasons. And we decided this is where we were going to be. So now we moved to Atlanta. May 1st, 2015, moved to Atlanta. Moved to Johns Creek, discovered a street called 141, and said, before I decide to reopen the businesses, the financial service company, let's try every restaurant on 141, because I got nothing to do. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, drop the kids to school, my wife and I. Gonna go and discover Atlanta. Well, let me tell you, what I discovered was a 6-figure amount of money later, after a year and a half of discovering LA, Houston, and Atlanta, I realized, man, the burn rate gets really, really high. So I have a question for you guys. Do you think people that are employed spend more money Monday through Friday or Saturday, Sunday? Saturday, Sunday, right? Because Monday to Friday, what are they? Working, they're busy. Well, retirement is a lifetime of Saturdays and Sundays. Or discovering 141 in a new city is like a lifetime of Saturdays and Sundays. So finally, after doing that, and constantly walking around the house and not having anything to do and going like this on the counter and saying, it's dusty, honey. My wife said, go open up a company, go build a business, go do something, because you can't be at home. And alhamdulillah, then we started building more companies in Georgia. But you know what I saw in that year, some period? How important it was that I had an emergency fund. And I'm asking you to have 6 months of that emergency fund. Because you're about to get into that workforce where they're not going to talk to you about that. They're going to talk to you about a 401k. They're going to talk to you about your benefits, your health insurance. Somebody said life insurance, short-term, long-term disability. And that's great. Those are all products. And I understand that you should have those. Again, depending on your personal faith preference and what you feel. But when people come to me for financial advice, the first thing I do is I have what's called a 30-minute complimentary phone call. We call that the open talk. You be open with me, I be open with you. And I have all types of clients in the Muslim community. I have the ones that are like astaghfirullah after everything that comes out of my mouth as options. And then I have the one that says, oh yeah, for sure we need that. And I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you are the one that is astaghfirullah after every single thing. Or are you the one that says, no, I do need to check off the benefits that my employer offers. But no matter who you are, you gotta protect that income. You have to. And saving money 6 months under a pillow or in a bank account, astaghfirullah, if we talk about interest bank account, right? Depending on who you are. You still need 6 months of emergency fund. Would you agree or disagree? Has anybody ever been laid off or fired? I have. Huh? How was it that month, that next month? A little tight?
Yeah.
What saved you?
Well, I was being paid for 3 months, so they kept me on the rolls for 3 months, and then.
So you had a company give you an emergency fund. If you didn't get the next place of employment in month 4, what was going to happen?
I had some emergency fund. I
You
some
had.
reserves.
What if you ran out of that? Then what was going to happen?
The road.
Yeah, road for sure. It's called you would be driving Uber. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I used to deliver. 16 years ago, I had $87 in my checking account. My dad had just passed away. I was broke. Apartment had roaches all over. My mother and I didn't get along. We didn't see eye to eye because Dad was the leader. Dad was Michael Jordan. I'm from Chicago. And both Mom and I wanted to be the new Michael Jordan. We were tired of being Scotty Pippen. So both of us were like, we're the new Jordan. My mother, being an entrepreneur and as bold as can be, said to me, Tahir, go play for the expansion team. Because the Bulls have a new Michael Jordan, and it's not you. Alhamdulillah. She knew my mother very well. She threw me out of the house right after my dad passed. The best thing she ever did for me. You're like a astaghfirullah. Best thing she ever did for me. But I was down to $87 in my checking account. Remember, I told you I wasn't born a Muslim. My good friend Visa and MasterCard, okay? My good friend Visa and MasterCard were maxed out. They didn't like me either. Creditors are calling. I see on the phone number. Oh my God, I don't recognize. That means this is the one that wants the money for last month and I didn't pay them. Delete, send a voicemail. My own playbook of mistakes I'm going to share with you today. $87 down. That's it. Delivering pizzas for Rosati's Pizza. They've got two or three locations here now in Georgia, but in Chicago they're just pickup places. They're not restaurants. Delivering for Mario's Pizza, doing whatever I got to do. I got to pay the rent. And a couple years later, I realized that this is the definition of insanity: is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So I understood something that you have to understand. You have to have a relationship with your money. Let me repeat what I just said. You need to have a relationship with your money. If you don't have a relationship with your money, you're in trouble. My money talks to me. You know what it says to me? The $100 in my bank account calls me, goes, I'm lonely. I'm lonely. I need another $100. You need to save more. I need friends. So I save more. Then the $100 talks to the next $100. He goes, we need family. You think I'm kidding? You think I'm kidding? Wait till your money talks to you. Wait till your money tells you that, you know what? We need friends, we need more savings. But hey, you can't do anything if you don't do what? You gotta protect your income. So step one, protect your income. Now there is financial products out there, astaghfirullah, right? Let me just get it out there. Okay? That protect. Astaghfirullah is like, oh my God, he didn't say that. Okay? We can't do that. There's financial products that are out there. Depending on your meter, you might take one, you might not. But there's no gray in emergency fund. There's no gray. Because it's not a product, it's a choice. It's a choice. You want product or you want pride? If you want product, you're not going to have much pride. You're going to have the fake pride. I call that the Facebook like. You know? The Facebook likes. Oh, everybody, I check in. I went to this restaurant. Hey, everybody tell me that it's a good thing that I went to this restaurant. Can't afford it, though. My good friend Visa and MasterCard is what's going to help me eat this dinner. Can't afford it. Check out my ride. Check out my ride. Guys, I was there. Black T-top Chevy Camaro. It was a great ride. It's a great ride until you get a couple months behind on the payments. Stuff for a lot. Sick and tired of that life. I wanted to be on welfare. I wanted to be farewell. So you gotta make some choices. So do we understand how important it is to protect that income? All right, let's move on. Let's talk about savings. Okay, savings. Write this number down. If you disagree with me and if you make it in life, then I'll read your book. You gotta save 20% of your gross income. Let me repeat. You gotta save 20 to 30% percent of your gross income. If you become successful without this, then I'll read your book. It won't be a book, it'll be an app that you and Mark Zuckerberg created together, and that's how you made $1 million. But if those of you who can't do that, and don't have a really good voice and are gonna get on American Idol, I highly recommend the 20 to 30% save rule. Now, I don't say this out of arrogance, I say this pure mistakes. My first year at New York Life Insurance Company, I was 22 years old. I made $159,000 in income. Relax, don't pop your eyes out. I'm a good salesman. If you don't believe I'm a good salesman, ask me. Tahir, are you a good salesman? I am. Am I a good salesman? Yeah. If you don't believe me, just ask me. I'll tell you I'm a good salesman. So, made $159,000 my first year. Said no more pizza delivery. Let me tell you how much I spent. $160,000. No discipline, no knowledge, stupid, dumb. No wife and kids either. A lot of roaches in the apartment though. Friends would come over, they go, hang on a second. You keep telling me you make all this money, how come we got all these roaches? I'm like, it's a long story. How many of you know what Kevin Hart is? Have you ever seen the one where he talks about the checkings and the savings? You know, that's how my life was. My checkings and my savings weren't adding up together. Okay? Guys, we have to have a relationship with our money. We have to save 20 to 30% of our gross income. So at 22, I was making the money and spending the money just as fast. At 25, though, by the way, I'm in the financial services industry. At 22. How would you like for me to tell you what to do with your money? That would like walking into a gym to hire a personal trainer. The 400-pound trainer comes out, right, and goes, I'm going to be your personal trainer. You're like, I'm going to be leaving. We hire financial advisors and financial coaches who have not climbed a hill, but they're going to tell you how to climb Mount Everest. We do that in other areas of our life too. We ask people for advice who have not conquered that thing that you're asking them for advice for, but they're going to tell you, let me tell you how you should run your life. Let me tell you what you should do as soon as you graduate college. Don't do that. Savings is so important, 20 to 30%. Gotta save, gotta save. I mean, save, please save. People say to me, Tahir, I want to invest in something. I go, okay. Here, true story, a nurse comes to me. She goes, I want to invest. I said, okay, walk me through your compensation. She goes, I make about $44,000 a year. Just got my bachelor's degree in nursing, yada, yada, yada. I got 10 minutes. Okay, what do you do with guys that go over? You guys penalize them? Is there like a jar that you have money into? So she comes up to me, she goes, hey, I make $40,000, I want to invest in something. I'm like, great. I'm going to teach you what you're going to invest in. She goes, all right, cool. She's thinking of Google. Tahir's a stockbroker, so he's going to teach me what he did to become where, to the point where he's at. Hey, here's what I told her. I said, we're going to invest in you getting your master's. She's like, huh? Wait, I just went to school for 4 years. You want me to do it again? I said, yeah. She goes, why? I said, best ROI. She's like, what are you talking about? I said, 20-year history of the stock market. You bought and sold at the perfect times. It's an 8% rate of return. That means you had to buy and sell at the perfect times. Just everything had to work out great way. Okay, your stockbroker didn't gouge you on all the commissions and the fees. Everything worked out perfectly. You're gonna make about 8%. I said, but if you get your master's in Overland Park, Kansas, where she lives, let's just take a look at what the income would be. It's about 60. I don't know about you, but a 50% increase in income is better than an 8% rate of return. Would you agree or disagree? She makes $110 now, got a nurse practitioner degree. We want to invest in the market. You guys are going to graduate college in a couple of years, call me and say, how do I invest? Google, Amazon, invest in you. Invest in yourself. You are your greatest asset. Not the stock market, not real estate. You are your greatest asset. Invest in yourself. We'll get there. We'll get to passive income streams. We'll get to financials. We'll get to being, everybody wants to own, investment properties and .coms. And I had a brother tell me in 5 years he's going to be on an island earlier today. And I said, okay. I hope there's not property tax on the island. Right? I mean, if you buy the island, you still got property tax on the island. So if we save 20 to 30% of our income, because we invested in ourselves and are making an X in income, now we're in good shape. Can you go to the next slide? And I want you to click, 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 so all the bullet points come up. Keep going. Keep going. All the way until the entire screen is filled. So the third word is called invest. So we've covered income, we've covered savings, and now invest. Keep going. Yep. Keep going. Keep going. There, one more. One more. Go back. There you go, that's fine. Okay, so when it comes to investing, there's short-term investments, there's long-term investments, there's pros and cons of both, but then there's midterm. You will not become wealthy. We heard first speaker this morning. I should have said don't take a picture of that for compliance reasons, but I can't stop you. Okay, I just can't email this to you for compliance reasons. I guess I can't stop you from taking a picture. Just make sure I'm smiling in the picture. No, no, I'm not. So, and I can, if I send you an encrypted email, I can get you this presentation. I just have to put a little disclaimer on the bottom. Anyway, bottom line is short-term, checking account, savings account, money market, CDs. These are places where we put our money short-term. Long-term, we have a 401k, for some people a 403b, IRAs, SEP IRA, Roth IRA. There's pros and cons, but you see this thing is, this red thing. We call that your money is in jail until 59 and a half. If you want it to come out of jail, you gotta pay, right? You gotta pay to have it come out of jail. 10% penalty, taxes. How many of you know who Bill Gates is? How about Steve Jobs? God rest his soul in English. You know these two people. But the owner of Amazon, you know him? Okay. Do you think they became financially wealthy? Because from the speaker this morning, the first speaker, we're allowed, right, to talk about wealth. Do you think they became wealthy because they had a checking account and a 401k? No, they didn't become wealthy because they had a checking account and a 401k, correct? Why did they become wealthy?
Disrupting industry.
Disrupting the industry. They understood a problem, they solved a problem. We call that a business owner. Business owners understand problems and solving problems. How many of you know who Warren Buffett is? Right? Warren Buffett understood valuation of companies. He understood how to value them and when was time to invest in them. Okay? So these are all the things that are going to get you to have wealth. All right? Midterm assets. But we need all three. We need the short term, midterm, and long term. And then why do clients come to us? For the strategy. Based on where you're at in your life, what income you have, what your belief system is, we're going to design you a customization of these different financial buckets. But guys, this is it. Don't let money complicate you. Don't make somebody make you feel like you don't understand money, but then start having a relationship with your money. So give me the three things. What's the first one? Income. What's the second? What's the third? But only when you're ready. Don't invest until you have 6 months of what? Burn rate. Minimum. Okay, I'm almost wrapping up. I'm married. I have a 5-year-old son, 3-year-old daughter, and it's on the calendar, Wednesday, we're scheduled to have baby number 3. My wife said to me, I'm having contractions. I said, it's not on the calendar today.
Y'all think he's kidding. He's on.
You might not agree with this, and that's okay. How many hours a day do I work?
life 25 hours a day, 8 days a week.
25 hours a day, 8 days a week.
Text messages at 6 a.m. 4 a.m.
But see, what you think work is, you're going to put that in the secular world. It's not. Work on your life. Work on your life. How many of you think the F word is a bad word? Raise your hand if you think the F word is a bad word.
It's a bad word.
The F word, F words are great. Let me give you all my F words. Faith, family, finance, food, can't you tell? Football, I played high school football and I coached high school football. Fun, friendship, and I know you can't tell, but fitness. Okay? The F word's not a bad word. It's a good word. But you have to, 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, you have to incorporate the F word, and you have to build that life that you want. Okay? Finances is a part of that. Well, my thought is faith, family, finance. Nowhere in there did I say TV. When I was growing up, my dad used to call it the idiot box. Okay? Today I understand why he called it the idiot box. So, I'd like to leave with this. I'd like to give you guys an opportunity for 3 minutes, if possible, to ask any questions you'd like, and I'll be happy to answer them. But I'd like to leave with this. I believe that if you choose to work for a company, which is a really good idea, I did for 8 years, it really taught me a lot of things. Okay, I worked in corporate America, and I'm really grateful for that, I really am. You can't have that be your only income. The days of you working for a company, 30 years later, retiring, balloons come down, pension plan, those days are over. You can't make an impact in your community. You can't make an impact in your family. You can't make the impact that you have to make. Do you know how blessed we are? We're born in America. Do you know what percentage of the people are born in America? Think about all the people that aren't born in America. Please do not waste your life like I did for many years. Don't waste that 25 hours a day, 8 days a week that you have. I'm all over those F words, all over. That's why I'm asleep. People that don't practice Islam say, well, how do you wake up so early? I'm like, it's obligatory. What am I going to do? Take it up with the Creator. It's obligatory. And we got opportunities to take advantages and get some more points if you wake up even earlier than the first prayer. What do you mean? I need all the points I can get. So don't waste this life. Don't waste it. 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. Don't waste it. Figure out what does that life look like and go get it. Don't have one income. Don't have one income. Have multiple sources of income, please. And if you don't know how to do it, call me. Text me. Email me. We'll do a workshop. I'll teach you. Complimentary. Okay? Because I wish somebody would have taught me some of the things that, alhamdulillah, today I understand. And I'm still learning. But today, alhamdulillah, I've understood the importance of having 10 different sources of income. I didn't speak. 10 different adult income sources. Adult income is when you make 5 figures a month. Let me repeat, and you're in the adult category. You're going to need it. If you don't believe me, just step into the, as the Imam said, real world. So, you got to build a business. You're like, wait, I had to build it? Yes. You know what your business is? Your business is growth. If that means growth in your company, if that means consulting, whatever that means, if that means passive income through real estate, you got to do it. Don't rely on one income, please, I request. So this young woman that's sitting here, or standing next to me, can you go to Maverick and Maverick? So this young woman, I want to give you her story, and I can't boo. She graduated from the University of Georgia. Don't boo. That's not for long. It's not for long. Okay, so she graduated from the University of Georgia. I had the pleasure of meeting this young woman 3.5 years ago a little bit less than 3.5 years. January of 2016, I got to meet Haley Hall at an event like this, minus the MSA part. But an event like this at the University of Georgia, I was pretty much new to Georgia, and I went and I said, okay, well, there's an event going on at the University of Georgia. Let me see if I can meet somebody. And I met Haley Hall, and she wanted an internship in finance. As we continued to have a conversation, I said, you would be a really, really good recruiter. She goes, I've never recruited before. I said, well, you're in luck. I have. I know how to recruit. I said, how about I teach you? So I gave her a job for 6 months. Gave her a job, for 6 months. Alhamdulillah, I've never seen somebody understand the concept of work and be so committed to doing something. I really haven't. So we were at P.F. Chang's having sushi, you said? You must have been having the vegetarian sushi. Okay, she doesn't eat any kind of fish or meat. So we were eating, and she says to me, here's my vision. This is after working with me for 6 months. Here's my vision, and I want to execute this by the time I'm 27. And then she gave me an income goal. I said, that's great. I paid the bill, got in my car, called my wife. I said, we have to fire Haley Hall. She goes, okay. Holly was like, is everything okay? So we have to either fire her, or we have to build a company with her. My wife's like, oh boy, here's my extreme husband. Fire her, build a company with her. I said, yeah, because she just gave me her dream and her vision, and I don't think she can achieve that being a recruiter for our firm. People say, how many times you say I want to make a 6-figure income? Oh, you heard that, right? Well, which one, 100,000 or 999,000? So she gave me her 6-figure objective, and if it was 100,000, that's easy, okay? But her 6-figure objective was way bigger. May I share with them what it was?
Yeah.
She said, I want to make $200,000 by the time I'm 27. 250. Details. She goes, I want to make 250. I'm like, oh great, I want to fire you. I just paid the bill and went and told my wife that. Next day I came to the office and I told her, I said, Haley, I have 2 options for you. Today can be your last day working with us, or we can build a recruiting and consulting company on helping people get a job, build resumes, etc. La 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 la. She goes, okay, well, I'm definitely in on option 2. But can I understand why? I said, because you can make a 6-figure income working for us at our firm, but you can't make 250 in the role you're in. So my company doesn't have the infrastructure to help a recruiter make 250. And I'm not going to limit your wants and desires or your dreams. So you got to go, or we got to go into business together. Alhamdulillah. This is year 3, right? So we made the deal, so on and so forth. Haley is a partner in Maverick & Mavin Consulting and an owner. My wife and her are partners. Why I share this with you? She has a salary. She's got her income to recruit from Moxie Financial. But then she built a business and has an income coming from there. I don't just say this. She's one of 8 other partners that we have in different .coms and companies. There are people out there that want the talent in this room, young, sharp minds. And they're willing to invest in you. It's your job to find them. Questions? Can't get me off until you ask 3, so guys hurry up because I'm already over. 3 questions. Who's gonna go first?
How do you recommend, just for an emergency fund, just like in a checking account?
The question is, where do you recommend that we put the money, in a checking account? Where do we put that? Okay. So, depending on your personal preference, you could put it anywhere you'd like. Some people put it into a money market account. Some people put it into a savings account. Some people put it in a checking account. Some people put it under their pillow. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. Okay. I'm not interested in where you put it. I'm just interested in you having it. That's 1. We got 2 more, and then you guys can get me off.
If we have a burner account on inside emergency fund, what is when do we use our savings? Like, what's the purpose of savings, and when do we have the right to use it?
So the question is that if we have a burn rate, let's say we have 6 months, but then on top of that, we have a savings account, okay? I don't believe a savings account should ever be sitting there doing nothing. So it's, let's have enough of an emergency account, and then let's take the rest of the money that we have in a savings account and do something with it to create financial security. So I don't believe in a savings account. I don't believe in it. I believe in a checking account and an emergency fund account, and then the rest of the money is all working. It should be working. You go to work for your money. Why isn't your money going to work for you? Right? I see some, right? You go to work for your money. Why isn't your money going to work for you? My money is going to work. It's going to work right here, this company. All right? Go to work. And there's the person that we've put in charge. She's driving the car. I'm in the back, hoping that there's no accidents. But what was the tool? Money. So does everybody understand that question? Once you have enough emergency fund for your personal gut risk tolerance level, your family, right? Then we can start taking the rest of the money and doing what? Having our money go to work for us. Otherwise, you will be a slave of your employee. Yes, I just said that. Employer. Don't let your employer give you the 3 to 5% raise and the pat on the back and say, gosh, you're doing a great job making me millions. I mean, doing a great job with the software that you develop. I mean, don't do that. You go to work for your money goes to work for you. Last question.
How do you go about building your business without carrying a capital?
Let me say one thing. I need the ladies to ask at least 2 questions. I heard the back end of your talk. Can you get them to not participate? Can you help me with that? I might not be qualified. I think I am, but I might not be. You might be better qualified. So let me answer the question. Well, ask the question one more time.
How do you go about like investing and building a business without having a capital?
Without having capital. So the question is, hey, I want to build a business, but I don't have the capital. How do I do it? Well, there's many ways. There's, depending on your religious barometer, there is interest-free loans. There's loans out there. You can partner, right? You can partner with friends, family, investors. You can do a lot of things. The first company I ever built was a company called SonicParts.com. I was 20. And I ordered computer parts from China. And back then, you know, not a big deal, right? Monitors, wireless keyboard and mouse. Woo! All right, I'm dating myself, right? I used to order those from China, and I used to sell them. But to scale the business, to make it bigger, I needed money. So I called on a guy that I knew really well. Allah Jannat Nasib Kare. May Allah really give him Jannat. He passed away earlier this year, tragically, of a heart attack. Naushad Ali in Chicago. I called Naushad. I said, Naushad, I need to run an idea by you, and he gave me the capital. We became partners. He owned 95% of the company, and I owned 5%. I don't know if it was the best partnership, but it accomplished the goal. So you can become partners, you can borrow money, you can do a lot of different things. 2 questions, ladies, and then I will be off. Sorry.
I am curious, what are the other companies that you have partnership in or that you own, and what was your reason, or how did you become associated with those companies?
Okay, I'll answer one question of that real fast, and then I can answer the rest of it offline. So the one question is, what are the other companies?
Yes.
We can talk about that offline.
And how did you go about determining which companies you wanted to be a part of?
Great, okay. How do I determine how to invest in companies? I never invest in companies.
Okay, businesses.
No, not business. I invest in people. I literally will get to know the person in and out, and then I'll invest in them. So it's a people thing. I understood Haley Hall, I understood her mission, I understood what she wanted, I trusted her, and then I went with it. The business plan's gotta be average. The person's gotta be outstanding. It's gotta be alignment, belief alignment. One last question from the ladies and then I'm done. Okay, not everybody at once. One last question from the ladies and then I'm done. Sisters?
Do we even have the time?
Well, did you ever have a time where like you invested in someone or an idea and it didn't work out?
Yes.
What did you do?
Called it a day and said, hey, we took a shot and it didn't happen. Do you have another idea that we can try? So what? You learn the most when you fail. Your ego gets big when you're winning. But you learn the most when you fail. I failed many times. I've had more .bombs than .coms. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak.
First off, congratulations to Brother Tahir for being here. I can't tell you guys how happy he was to come speak to us. Like just personally, like talking to him, he was so happy to be here, and I can't tell you how much we appreciate him being here. Our final session of the day is downstairs in the Clarity Theater. It's our keynote speaker, Matib Ahmed. We'll be starting in a couple minutes. So if you want to go ahead and head back downstairs where we first started, our first session of the day, we'll probably start there.